Hello, and welcome to the 9th edition of the School Improvement Services Podcast. My name is Gretchen Bruno, and I'm the Executive Director of School Improvement Services. And with me is Sean Aker, whose favorite summer activity is running. Yep. So for those of you who like that, that's great. That's good for you. Yay for you. Let's jump right into professional development and tell us all about it.
Yeah, you bet. Well, I left some elements on the court notes from our last podcast notes. So you can see some of those. So just a reminder on some of those things that are coming up. There are still a couple of paid opportunities. There is a Mathways alignment work session here at the WESD on June 20th. So that's coming up here next week. A new one, though, that I did add was an instructional assistant retreat. The registration is closed, but I thought I'd elevate that because we did end up having 27 folks sign up for that one, representing, I think, 6 or 7 districts. So it's a great retreat. It's really to support the instructional assistants in ways that maybe they haven't gotten some instructional methodologies in the past. Mm-hmm. So also bridging the equity lens and elevating their skills and knowledge around implementing with equity. So the other one that is new, and there's still time for this one, this is for everybody, Jim Knight's Instructional Coaching and Impact Cycle. That's going to be a 2-day virtual event on the 20th and 21st, and that's no cost for our region. So the link is in there. You can sign up for that one. That's on, again, the 21st and the 22nd of this month. Then we've got planning for next fall. I sent out a mail campaign. We had our whole team weigh in on it. We looked it over as department leaders, and we're pretty comfortable with the approach. We've got a lot of technical assistance through the Comprehensive Technical Assistance Program in the areas of mental health and behavior, social emotional learning, instruction, curriculum adoption. So a couple of things, and I actually put a link to the campaign in the court notes. How many times can we say that during the
Our clip notes, again, have become court notes.
I didn't list out, on this for the podcast today, I didn't list out all of the individual events, but I thought what I might do instead is identify some of maybe the services or bucket areas where you're going to see a lot of support. And I also wanted to mention that as we move forward over the summer, we're still here over the summer. The folks that are helping us on staff to develop that MailChimp campaign are still here, and we're going to continue to update with links to the registration, add more dates as we kind of submit them in. So a couple things. 321 Insight. There's going to be a kickoff. There's going to be a train the trainer event. You can expect to see those things. DESA, Raider and Site Leader training and refreshers. So you can see those. A lot of folks are asking for individual, like, oh, we want a DESA Raider training for our school or for a couple of staff. And I just want to be, clear as kind, right? We have limited staff doing that. And so the individual asks actually inhibit our capacity to reach out and meet all the needs. So if you see some of these trainings that are on our list that are maybe regional trainings, we would love it if you folks would, the folks that need to attend those regional type trainings, because you're going to get the information you need. You still have a lot of time to answer questions. And of course, we're always available for troubleshooting and technical assistance that way. But we may not be able to meet your individual need on a specific date. So plan for these dates that you see. I mentioned last time, Envoy. I didn't have a clear date, but thank you, Adam, for reaching out. Adam listens to the podcast, which, by the way, Spotify and Apple. So if you haven't liked it, that'd be cool to see some likes and comments, leave feedback in there.
For sure.
Yeah. But anyway, Adam, thank you for your interest in Envoy. We do have a firm date. It's August 14th. It's from 8 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. And again, that's nonverbal classroom management. That's the real emphasis there. So a question did come up the other day. Can classified folks attend that day? Yeah, absolutely. It's for anybody who's going to be working directly with kids in a classroom, especially in a classroom management setting. The other thing I want to mention, we're partnering, and Gretchen is our department director here. We've got a lot of communication with ODE, Alexa Pearson, some of our other partners there. We really want to support all of the needs of our district under the areas of curriculum and curriculum instruction and assessment. So you can expect to see from us in partnership with the Oregon Department of Education, even some of our other ESD partners, different workshops and supports in the areas of literacy, math, science, and then really what we're going to focus as an ESD, the WESD, we really want to focus on that process of comprehensive curriculum adoption. Like the true comprehensive curriculum adoption is really a 2-year cycle. It's not a 1-year cycle. It's not a let's, sit down and have a meeting. Let's look at 5 materials. It's like, what are we trying to accomplish with the tools we're using? What do we know about our standards? Do we have a vision for what we're trying to accomplish? Okay, now that we have that, what do we want to look at in terms of piloting? And then when we pilot, how we want to roll it out. And this may be a repeat. I think I might have said this on a previous podcast, but it's extremely important to really start considering that, because districts can delay for a year on their curriculum adoption. Sometimes we know that funding can be a barrier because it's like, oh, I've got these funds now and, they expire, or I lose access to those on, June 30th or whatever of the year. But I think to be really planful about that and knowing that now and looking ahead at the curriculum adoption cycle over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, what are you going to be adopting and getting those teams in place right now and really starting that visioning. So anyway, we'll be focusing on science this year. It's a curriculum adoption year for science. That doesn't mean that if a district is focusing on a different curriculum,
we don't have supports as well.
Right. Supports. Yeah. And the last thing I think that I will mention, it's on the podcast. Again, we've got the notes or the script. It's going to be in the court notes, but there is lots of school safety and prevention events, tons scheduled throughout the late summer and fall, and they begin in August. And one thing I thought that was really going to be worth noting, over in the past, we're changing language from threat assessment to behavioral safety assessment. And I think some folks might be like, oh, they're softening the language, and maybe there's like maybe a bad taste about that. But I think what's really important to understand is that the threat assessment originally, and I just learned this yesterday from Nathan Shea, is a wealth of knowledge. The original threat assessment was really focused on targeted and specific threats. So to be real, we're talking about school shooters. That's what the threat assessment.
Or we're saying through threats would threaten other students.
Yeah, right. Very targeted, specific threats. Now, over time, these assessments, they started to include more reactive instances. And these instances, the reactive ones, and the way Nathan puts it, are instances in which students who may have not yet developed coping skills, they're reacting to something and they're reacting in a violent way. And we're calling that a threat, but it was not premeditated. Right. It was reactive.
Right.
And so in these cases, we're working, when you're working with parents and you say, okay, I need to do a threat assessment on your child, that has actually set up barriers between the school and the parents in collaborating to actually make, a better assessment of the situation and help the child gain skills.
I sat in many of the original ones. Yeah, so
it's all part of moving away from that push out language to that what do we know and how can we help
preventative
skills? Yeah, the preventative. So again, if you have more information, or if you need more information, or if you have more questions around that, just reach out to Nathan Shea. He's just exceptional. He's our school safety and prevention specialist, and I've linked his email in the notes as well. And so a couple other things listed in there, but
all right.
Yeah, just check out the notes. And
I think one of the things you mentioned, some of the statewide in-service day, some things happening. The day before the statewide in-service day, Mid-Willamette Education Consortium, or MWEC, is doing their kickoff for CTE teachers. And so just to be aware, upcoming, that's typically a day when you're looking for subs and all those pieces. And so something to think about early. That date has come out already. And so I have a few things from ODE, some dates and deadlines. Not a whole lot. We are wrapping up the school year for sure. Your SIP budget narrative assurances are due on June 30th. So just make sure you have those in order for the federal formula title program grant funds for the school year to be obligated. All of that information needs to be in and ready. There are all kinds of links and information within our notes for you. As far as assessment and accountability, your test coordinator and information only contacts also need to be in by June 30th. So please make sure that you do that as well. There's a link for the current update. And then the recording updating is currently open for editing, and it's open for editing through August 18th. And as somebody who formerly did some of that editing, I know it takes a while to go in and make sure all the students are coded correctly and all the pieces. And so you do have some time. It's closing on the 18th, but it is open now.
18th of
August.
Okay.
Yeah, August 18th. It's good clarification. August 18th. Yeah. There was an ESSER newsletter that came through as well, and there are really four important ESSER 2 and 3 reminders that came out of it. No direct rate on capital expenditures, awareness of the Davis... No indirect rate, on capital expenditures.
Sure.
Yeah, right. No, you were great. Indirect rate on capital expenditures, awareness of the Davis-Bacon fair wage requirement. So there's some pieces in there. And there's, again, multiple links that ODE has supplied. Participation data collection reminder on what needs to be turned in. And then the final one, these are long ones, the 1, 2, 3, 4. They said 4 and I see 3. So there's also some dates and deadlines that are in here as well. So one of the things is to remember that your ESSER 2 and your ESSER 3, is the deadline for spending. The ESSER 2 is 9/30 of 2023, and the deadline for spending with the tidings extension is for ESSER 3 is 9/3/2024. So making sure that you are spending appropriately and getting those done. So there's quite a bit of information in here. I looks like number 4 is not in here, so I'll make sure that number 4 is in here for reminders. If you have any questions, we can. Nope, there's only 3, and it says 4. He looked back. We're perfect. So
okay,
you had all 3 of the 4 supposed reminders.
It's linked in there anyway.
It is, and it's linked, so you have all the information. Should you have any questions, I'm happy to lead you to the right person. They've also listed some support and some email places that you can email and get support as well. I am probably not your end-all, be-all on ESSER, but ODE is, and they're happy to help, I know. So with that, we're short and sweet today. We're headed towards the end of the year. We'll do some probably intermittent podcasts over the summer.
I think so.
Essentially, because there'll be things coming up.
It'll be good. Some updates.
And hopefully have some more guests, so you're not just listening to both of us. That's what we're excited for.
I did, if I could share one more thing.
Please.
About DESA. So this is more specific to the Comprehensive Technical Assistance Program from the WESD. So those are the SSA funds that help us, that allow us the opportunity to support your integrated plan needs. So
perfect.
SIA, high school, so student investment account, high school success, Everyday Matters. I know it's not funded to districts, but the ESDs get some money so we can help support the reduction of chronic absenteeism. We call it SUP funds, but that's really like plan writing and reporting. And then of course the gear funding for our small and rural schools. And really, I think that language is going to change, but so with the technical assistance program, we offer a lot of access to a lot of programs, and 321 Insight is one. I mentioned there's training there. DESA is another, and we've got a few others. DESA, I was having a conversation with Ron Snively, and so Ron Snively and Miranda Tucker, sorry. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Recent name change. Okay, Miranda Tucker, she's fabulous. She's gonna, hopefully she laughs when she hears this, if she listens to this. Anyway, Miranda Tucker. So they have been just kind of like capturing some of these implementation ideas. And Ron shared with me, like, there's a variety of different implementation schematics, if you will, that districts are using and schools are using. So that's something I think, I just want to put that out there about DESA, but same is true with 321 Insight, maybe even the use of language services through Linguava, if you're tapping into that as a resource. When when we're supporting our districts and our schools with the implementation, we're really looking to you as the local experts and what your needs are. And so if you're seeing things going a certain way, or you've got some needs, or you're looking at, okay, we want to do this with this intended impact and we see how it connects with this and that, we want to help you build that. We want to be your thought partner there, not tell you how to do it, but really be your thought partner in building a structure that's going to work for you to understand your students, to understand the impact of the implementation on your student outcomes. So
it's my favorite part of being an education service district. We are here to serve you. So reach out, and that's our job. We're happy to do it. Should you need anything over the summer, like Sean said, we are here and ready to serve you. I think there's a few people that might take a little bit of a break at certain times, but we're here and happy to help, and reach out.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.